All right, Jules, we've talked before when talking about Inter, about Inzaghi's sort of program substitutions and so on. We've talked about, in the end, if you look at this back line, which didn't concede a goal, the 2 legs against Milan, okay, you have Bastoni, who I think is
amazing,
probably one of the top 5 center backs in the world.
Yeah.
But then you have Acerbi, who's a 35-year-old cancer survivor, picked up on a free transfer, and he's just so embodies kind of like the warrior type at the back. There
was that moment, remember, in the second half where he got the ball back. Maybe he played brilliantly and on the front foot, which is rare for someone who's not that mobile, is behind at that age. But he picked up the ball in the halfway line, and then because nobody from Milan was attacking him, he kept moving, and you could see like, okay, what do I do now? And I think he ends up shooting and he's blocked or something on the edge of the box. And amazing story, as you said. And someone who was obviously, the fans were not happy when he arrived.
No, and they're not happy because he angered many Lazio fans. Yeah. I think really unfairly, incidentally, this idea that he was laughing when they lost the game and whatever. I think he was really badly treated by the Lazio Ultras and by Lazio. And that was Inter's gain, I think, in the end. Matteo Darmian as well, who, former Milan player, incidentally.
Of course, yeah.
34 years old, not really a center back, more of a right back at this stage, but, adapting to that position, doing what he needs to do. Andre Onana, who last year started 6 league games for Ajax, obviously had that suspension where he always, maintained his innocence starting at the year number 2. I mean, ultimately, these are the people at the back who are keeping you out because, let's face it, your wing backs, Di Marco and Denzel Dumfries are both very attacking wing backs who, even when they have to defend, as they had to do against Leao, are people who are kind of sacrificing themselves to do it. Same as Çalhanoğlu, same as Mkhitaryan.
Yeah.
And then you have Barella, who's obviously a live wire, also a really, really, I think, an exceptional midfielder.
Yeah, and creativity.
But I want to ask about the strikers, though, because...
it was...
All right, Lautaro, after the World Cup he had, coming back, he's been playing on a really, really high level.
Incredible.
I mean, he runs himself into the ground.
Yeah, and there's a moment in the second half, I don't know if you could see on television, but where he goes and chases the ball on the left-hand side by the touchline, and Inzaghi is standing in front of his bench, and he forces either a throw or he maybe gives the throw to Milan, but he's in their own last 30 yards, and Inzaghi is clapping and applauding him for the effort. His back-to-back season with 25 goals at least. The finish is amazing because Mike Maignan was in great form, as we saw. He saves one in the first half where there was an offside from Barella, but still, there's the header that Maignan saves in the first half as well. That the reflex is incredible on the Lautaro header as well. But then to squeeze the ball the way he did after the double 1-2 with Lukaku is amazing. And Lautaro is the X factor for me in that team. The rest, as you said, are really quality players or players who work so well for the team. And in that system, Dzeko is one of them. But what I love the most about this team is that it's the only team really of the top teams in the Big 5 leagues that play with 2 players up front. Everybody has a lone striker, whether it's, Kylian, Haaland, Kane.
Yeah, it's Atletico Madrid, Leipzig. There aren't very many
others.
There's
not that many. And to see them like that and to have Lukaku coming off the bench too, to bring what he's good at, I think is amazing.
I don't understand Dzeko at his age with his body type, how he seems to cover so much ground. I mean, I guess he takes big steps slowly and has long legs, long telescopic legs. Yeah. But even the way you had Dzeko helping out on Teo, right?
Yeah.
Teo Hernandez, who had a really, really quiet game by his standards. When we talk about Milan's left flanks, okay, Leao was half fit. He was always over there helping Barella slow down Teo whenever he came inside. And then you got the option of substitutions. It's interesting. On paper, a lot of people, especially here in England, where, can I say it's a bit of an island sometimes, saying like Inter have zero chance. You're not going to give them zero chance, are you?
True. No, I think what Chelsea did in 2021 could very much happen with Inter. It's another back 5. It's a team that would be very hard to break down, like Tuchel's Chelsea at the time. They play differently with the ball because you only had Havertz with Werner man behind him at the time for Chelsea. You will have the front 2, or whether it's Lautaro and Dzeko, Lautaro and Lukaku for Inter in that game. However, I think this Inter team will cause problems to City. City might win the final, and I think they are favourite, rightly so. But Inter will cause them problems. It's not going to be a demolition like we saw on Wednesday night with Real Madrid. They will slow the game down. They will give no tempo to it, which City won't like. So I think they can do a job, but City have to be the favorite, and I think City will win this final, but Inter will give them a good game for sure.
So the final, of course, June 10th in Istanbul. We will be there.
We'll be there.
We'll bring it to you.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN Plus.